Welcome back, friends. As promised, the Franz Bardon, the practice of magical evocation. I want to tell you how much I paid for this book, but I don't remember. I want to say it was probably somewhere between $35 and $50. It is a hard book volume, hard backed. I don't think I left the sleeve on because it's annoying. I have my sleeves dust cover somewhere else. So anyway, let's jump right into it. As I said in my last video, Franz is like the German Aleister Crowley. And Franz is so overly thorough and overly dedicated in his magic that his books can be a bit dry because they are so full of, instead of a lot of philosophical pandering, they are full of the opposite. They are full of very precise instructions and advice on how to use it, which is what magicians need. So, let's get right into the table of contents. Chapter 1, Magic. Chapter 2, Magical Aids. Chapter 3, Magic Circle, the Triangle, the Censer, the Mirror, the Lamp, the Wand. So those are the magical weapons of magic. Loading the magic wand with the will, charging and loading with attributes and qualities, charging and loading with magnetism, biomagnetism, and prana. Charging and loading with the elements, charging and loading with the Akasha principle, charging and loading with the light fluid, magical sword, magical dagger, magical trident, the crown, the cup, the mirror, the headband, magic robe, the belt, magical aids, the layman, the sill, the secret book of formulas, and the spear of the beans. Advantages and disadvantages of evocation magic, the spiritual familius and servant spirits, magical evocation, the practice of magical evocation, hierarchies, beings of the elements, some of the original intelligences of the zone girdling the earth, the 360 principles of the zone girdling the earth. The principle of Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. Intelligences of the lunar sphere, genie of the Mercurian sphere, the cosmic order of presidents, the intelligence of the Venusian sphere, the genie of the solar sphere, the intelligence of the Martian sphere, the genie of the sphere of Jupiter, the Saturnian sphere, the spheres of Uranus and Pluto, contact the beings, genie's intelligence, and of other through mental travel, magical talismanology, epilogue, symbols of the second tarot card. Guys, I'm not gonna spoil this one for you too much, but I am gonna say I would definitely read Initiation into Hermetics. Practice the exercises, build up your initial abilities. Then, while you're doing that, you're studying this book. So you're using the instructions from book 1. You're meditating, you're building your senses, you're getting a feel for how to develop the magic you're going to need to perform the magic in this book. Okay, so why is that? Well, let me tell you something. This has some beautiful color photos. It's like a depiction of a Kabbalist in his temple. Very Golden Dawn style. I'm sure he appreciated the Golden Dawn very much. Here are some of the symbols of the sigils of the spirits. And they go on and on. The whole back of this book is nothing but handwritten in color. Some are in red. So this is typically what a real magician's sigils look like. They look like scribbling. Okay? A lot of them look like doodles, but that's exactly what a sigil is. You put your hand down on a piece of paper. You ask the spirit to deliver you their sigil via your communication. Your hand starts writing and moving, and whatever sigil it creates, that's what it creates. In fact, I don't have it on me, but I have a sigil that I just created psychically, and it's very interesting to see that a lot of these sigils are very similar in nature, that the way your hand flows and moves when you make a sigil is very telling that these are real. They're the signatures of the spirits. These are planetary. As you can see, he gives the degrees, and he's giving the name, okay, and then he's giving the astrological not astrological, the planetary category that spirits are under, because these are primarily planetary spirits. So this system, in Franz's system, you're going to be evoking some spirits that are governed by different planets. They're fascinating. I just look at these symbols and go, wow, okay. You know, what was going through the mind of this magician when he was dictating these symbols. Okay. Not going to spoil any more for you. This book is way too much of a gem to have me ruining it for you. There's nothing on the back. The hardcover sleeve may have an explanation on the back. So I'm just going to reiterate this again, guys. If you're a beginning magician and you want some serious shit, and you want something that gives clear instructions, and you have the patience to learn a full system of traditional magi style magic, check out Franz. Okay. These are two books that are well worth it, and you know, they're wordy, they're lengthy, they can be a little daunting. I dare say that once you get into the work can be very boring, but that's typical of any occult work that requires work. Human beings have a short attention span, so don't be surprised when you go spend $90 to get the Franz collection, and then about 3 days into it, you find yourself barely able to open the book. Now, I'm just going to say this from my own experience. I don't know why, but whenever you set upon the path of magic and your intentions are serious, the minute you do that, there are all sorts of forces in this universe that try to interrupt you, stop you, criticize you, throw you off the path, dishearten you from continuing on your path. Your mind will start making up excuses for even just reading the books. Crowley talked a lot about this, that in the beginning you have the greatest hatred for the work. There's an absolute loathing for doing the work. And reason why is it is work. If you've ever sat in an asana meditating position for 20 minutes straight without trying to move, you're going to understand how painful, uncomfortable, and nerve-wracking that can be for someone who has not trained their mind or their magical senses yet. So I recommend you take it with a grain of salt. If you know a guru or a practicing magician, someone that's older, someone that has maybe been initiated into some other school, someone with some real interests, even a yoga instructors and people that teach Hinduism. There are plenty of spiritual gurus out there who can help give you advice on the matter of why you feel that you are seeking this path. I've said before, this path is not for everybody, but if you have the right tools, the right frame of mind, and you are that passionate about it, you will succeed. There are some people who are not meant to be on this path. They try the path, and the path, simply, they either lose interest in it and they never touch it again with a 20-foot pole, or they become obsessed with it, and like Crowley and so many others who discovered this subject become quite obsessed with it and dedicate their life to it, and it becomes everything that you are and everything that you do. I'm very rational, and I don't allow anything to become an obsession or something that requires me to give too much of myself, where I feel like I'm becoming a slave to something. I dare say I want the occult to be something that I do because I enjoy it, and from a scholastic research point of view, I guess. Damn, earlier I was saying I'm getting electrical interferences, and I'm looking up at my fan right now. The fan on the ceiling just stopped for no reason. So, whatever. Oh boy. The subject of magic is very fascinating. It'll never cease to amaze you. It'll never cease to scare you, and it'll never ever stop surprising you. It's a path of a mystery. They don't call it the mystery school for nothing. Enjoy tripping out, friends, and do magic with a light heart, because truthfully, if magic stops being fun and it stops giving you any kind of benefit other than a headache, and becomes something that you feel is not helping your life, then I think you need to do something different. That's why I advise different books, because just like when you're a child and your caretaker, parent, foster person, aunt, uncle, whoever raised you pushes the Bible and they say this is the only way. If I were just presenting Crowley's material from a Thelemite, OTO, Golden Dawn style point of view, you would only have that frame of reference. I'm giving you guys as much broad frame of reference for occultism as possible, because if you actually sit and read these different books that I've shown you on this channel, you're going to understand how different they are, in the sense that these books are compelling you to do magic one way or the other. The problem I have with all occult gurus is that they often, all too often, too many of them, only a few, like Crowley, were into the dogma of magic, that this is exactly how it works, this is exactly how it has to be done. Crowley was some of the first to take magic and start breaking the rules. Instead of having a triangle for a spirit, invoke the spirit with no triangle and don't even stand in the circle. Okay, that's a very ballsy move. Crowley did it. I guarantee you other magicians would not, because they are stuck in making sure everything is done exactly by the instructions. And yes, you should follow the instructions, but if something isn't working, or you don't have access to something and you have no choice but to make an adaptation, make the fucking adaptation and stop obsessing over every little tiny detail. If you're making Golden Dawn weapons and you don't have red paint, figure it out. Okay? Don't let the details fuck you up. So, anyway, these are heavy books, guys. This is heavy concept. Read it with a light heart, enjoy it, and dark blessings.